And glad you've joined us for our summer edition of Nashville Business Breakfast. We're looking forward to hearing from our speaker this morning, and glad you've joined us. For those of you who are at your first Nashville Business Breakfast, we welcome you and hope you'll come again. We have these events quarterly, and so we'll look forward to seeing you next time around, but we're glad you're with us. It's been a privilege for many years as we've had this program here at the university to partner with the Nashville Business Journal. And so as we begin this morning, I want to ask you to welcome to the stage and greet our friend Kate Herman. Kate?
Thanks, Bob. Good morning. It's nice to see you all here this morning. I have the pleasure of introducing you to our sponsors of today's program. So first, I'd like to introduce you to Chuck Denny, Regional President, Kentucky and Tennessee of PNC Bank. We appreciate Chuck being here, and I want to invite him to say a few words and to greet you this morning. Chuck, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Kate. I know it's 6:45 in the morning. Where else in America do 800 people come together to network? Not too many, I would say. So congratulations, and thank you for being here. It's the choices you make define you and define your businesses. And I'd just like to say a word about our partners. I was just talking to our friends at Crow, and we're so grateful to stand up here with Crow every time we do this. This is a magnificent event for us, and we've been doing this for 3 years, and I recently had the opportunity to tell Kate we want to sign up for a fourth. And this is we can't tell you how important this is to our organization to be associated with this great program. But how many times do we get a chance to walk across a college campus, in the morning? What a beautiful way to start the day, 4 times a year. And I would say that's almost worth the price of admission, to be on this beautiful campus. And what a great opportunity Lipscomb provides this area for lifelong learning or to get great talent. We have some of our Lipscomb graduates with us today at PNC attending this event. They never miss. So we're grateful for Lipscomb University as a partner. We're also very grateful for the NBJ. I can't tell you how important it is to all of us, and I know, speaking for myself, to get an email blast on a Saturday or Sunday when there's some breaking news that I need to know about to be prepared for on Monday. So the NBJ has become really a partner for us at PNC throughout our organization to be informed on what's going on in this market and where the trends are. So I would encourage you, if you're working with the NBJ, thank you. If you're not, find a program that you can sponsor also, because the more we do, the more it helps everybody. So thanks for being here. Great decision, and enjoy the day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Chuck. We appreciate your sponsorship. And next, I'd like to introduce you to Marty Luter, Office Managing Partner of Crow Horwath. Marty, would you please come say a few words? Thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you. It's always hard to follow Chuck. He always has some insightful comments, and we too appreciate the partnership with PNC and the Nashville Business Journal. I want to thank you for attending this morning's business breakfast and just tell you a little bit about our firm. We provide accounting, advisory, tax, and performance services to companies here in Nashville and across the country. We also serve clients worldwide as an independent member of Crow Horwath International. So we're again pleased to be here this morning. Thank you for coming, and enjoy your breakfast and enjoy our speaker.
Thank you. And now we'll give you a few minutes to enjoy your breakfast this morning, and then we'll be back shortly to start the program. Enjoy.
Once again, I want to welcome you this morning. Sorry to break up the conversation, but we do want to get started with our program. We are glad you're with us, and one of the things that we benefit from and are blessed by in having this breakfast periodically is just the enjoying the community that we are part of, and certainly what we strive to do with this program is allow us all to get together and hear from corporate citizens and community members that are incredibly important to who we are as Nashville. So we're excited to hear from Gary this morning and look forward to his remarks. As we begin this morning, as we traditionally do, we will begin with prayer and are inviting to the podium William Thomas. William has been with Bridgestone for 19 years. He's the executive director of Bridgestone Bandag Tire Solutions Latin America. I'm personally privileged to be able to serve on the board here at Lipscomb with William. He's been on our board for 10 years, but we welcome him and ask him to lead us in prayer. Would you welcome William to the stage, please?
Good morning. We are glad that you are here. Would you please bow with me in a word of prayer? Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all the blessings of life that you've given us. We thank you for waking us up this morning and allowing us to participate in another glorious day that you've made, Heavenly Father. We pray at this time for this university. I pray for the faculty, the administration, and the students here, and our desire, Heavenly Father, to develop leaders to send out into the world to have an impact and make this world a better place to live in. I thank you, Father God, that we are in the position to host an event like this, where we bring together business leaders, businessmen, businesswomen, with a common goal to make the Nashville community and the Middle Tennessee community more prosperous. We thank you for this event. We pray for the dialogue that we will engage in and the relationships that will be developed this morning. We also pray, Father, for this food that we have received for the nourishment of our bodies. And we ask this prayer in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
One reminder that I wanted to throw out to you is if you look at the front of your programs, at the very bottom, there is a number that you can text questions to. For those of you who've been with us, you know the drill. After our speaker visits with us for a while, then we'll have a Q&A session with Kate and Turney, and so we invite you to text questions, and hopefully we can get to those as our speaker continues his conversation with us. You know, one of the things that we have become incredibly used to as we've had these programs is hearing from President Lowry here at the university, and Dr. Lowry is away today and unable to be with us, but it's certainly a privilege for me to be able to introduce the person that we've asked to introduce today's speaker. And I want you to hear from and meet Dr. Candace McQueen, who has become a very special part of the Lipscomb family and institution here. Dr. McQueen was recently appointed as Senior Vice President here at Lipscomb, and she currently serves as our Dean of our College of Education. She's on the executive leadership team here at Lipscomb, and recently in her appointment as Senior Vice President, she's also overseeing the work of the 1,300 student Lipscomb Academy across the campus. Candace has been the Dean for 5 years here at the College of Business, and I think one of the things I want to make sure you hear about her, just in terms of what she's done here at Lipscomb. During her 5-year stint as the Dean, the College of Education has tripled in size while adding 10 new graduate programs, including a doctorate, creating innovative partnerships and that focus on collaborative design, delivery of coursework, and programming. One of the most interesting things, or I guess notable things, about what Dr. McQueen has done at the College of Education is that recently our College of Education has been highlighted as one of the top teacher training programs, in fact, the top teacher training programs in the state of Tennessee. And recently, on the Tennessee Report Card and Effectiveness of Teacher Training Program rankings, Lipscomb University's College of Education was named as the second highest ranking program in the nation by the National Council on Teacher Quality. We are extremely proud, obviously, of the things that Candace has done in the College of Education, and we're proud that she's a part of this institution, and I ask you to please join me in welcoming her to the stage. Candace?
I've always wanted to be the dean of the College of Business. That's next. Good morning and greetings to all of you. It's a pleasure to be here with you and particularly with great leaders of business. And I'm very much looking forward to a presentation this morning to hear about a fabulous business and also about the transformation that's occurring there. Let me first note that we are pleased to have with us this morning a couple tables of Nashville Emerging Leader Award finalists, or NELAs. They are here as guests today. Our College of Business is pleased to be a presenting sponsor of YP Nashville, a partnership between the Nashville Area Chamber of Commerce and professional organizations that are working to engage, connect, and empower young professionals to actively shape the future of Nashville. The NELA Awards is the premier YP Nashville event, and the ceremony will be held actually on our campus here next week, July 31st. We want to invite everyone here this morning to attend and celebrate 75 finalists from 15 industries that will be recognized. Will the Nashville Emerging Leader Award finalists who are here today please stand so that we can congratulate you on your accomplishments. Well, it's a pleasure this morning that I have the opportunity to introduce the CEO and President of Bridgestone Americas, Gary Garfield. Gary also serves as the elected Vice President and the Senior Officer of Bridgestone Corporation as of 2011. For background, Gary has successfully served Bridgestone dating back to when it was Bridgestone Firestone for over 23 years. In fact, when I was reading more about him, I discovered that his leadership ability in multiple areas of skill and expertise has really moved Gary into various positions with Bridgestone over all of these years, including positions such as General Counsel and Chief Compliance Officer. 4 years ago, on March 1st, 2010, after serving as Vice President and General Counsel for 3 years, Gary Garfield assumed the role of CEO and President of Bridgestone Americas Incorporated. In addition to serving with Bridgestone, Gary serves as a member of the board of directors of several charitable and industry organizations, including the Tennessee chapter of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, the Community Foundation of Tennessee, the United Way of Middle Tennessee, and he currently serves as a board of visitor on Vanderbilt's Owen Graduate School of Business. Garfield received his Bachelor of Arts degree in philosophy from Wittenberg University and his Juris Doctorate from the University of Cincinnati. I know you will enjoy hearing from Gary about Bridgestone, but also the remarkable transformation that has occurred there in the last several years. So please join me in welcoming Gary Garfield to the stage.
Good morning, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. Anytime you want to do an introduction for me, you got the job. And I also, before I begin, I want to thank the sponsors, PNC and Crow, because without you doing this, without your sponsorship, we wouldn't be here. So thank you very, very much. And I am amazed. I'm amazed at how many people have shown up to learn about tires at 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, I won't just talk about tires. I'm going to tell you a little bit about us, a little bit about the transformation we've been undergoing at Bridgestone. But I also have to note, I can now say I've played the Allen. Jason Aldean, Charlie Daniels, Gary Garfield. I've played the Allen. It's a great day for me. This really is an honor. It really is. And it's a great opportunity for me to share a little bit about our company with you. Our company has been on a transformation, and the transformation, I would say, has some parallels, if you will, to the transformation that's been going on with respect to Nashville. We moved here in 1991, my wife and I and our kids, And Nashville was kind of a sleepy little southern town. I think that's best exemplified by shortly after we moved here, there was a poll that was conducted by the Tennessean that said the best Italian restaurant in Nashville was the Olive Garden. I'm not kidding. I'm not making this stuff up. Well, thankfully, there has been an explosion of restaurants in Nashville. It's kind of a foodie place, up-and-coming foodie place. Nashville itself has exploded. We now have 2 major sport franchises, the Predators, the Titans. It's one of the fastest growing economies of any city in the United States. It's one of the fastest growing cities in terms of population. It has grown up. It has transformed itself. And at Bridgestone, we're kind of trying to do the same sort of thing. We are historically an old line manufacturing company. In fact, our roots date back to 1900 when Harvey Firestone founded the Firestone Tire and Rubber Company. Halfway around the world, Shohiro Ishibashi in 1931 founded Bridgestone Corporation, a Japanese company. Its headquarters are in Tokyo. And after, many years after his passing, Bridgestone acquired Firestone, and that was in 1988. And today, 1 in 6 tires, every 1 out of 6 tires made in the world are made by Bridgestone Corporation. And today, we are the largest tire and rubber company in the world. We have annual revenues for our tire and our diversified product operations of over $36 billion. Almost 6 of that is for diversified products, and we make all kinds of diversified products. I'm sure many of you know our golf balls. We also make golf clubs, a whole host of sporting good things, and many, many other things, all the way on up to these giant shock absorbers that go underneath buildings to help them absorb the shock from earthquakes. So we're a pretty big, pretty diverse company. Bridgestone Americas. Bridgestone Americas accounts for almost 46% of the global revenue of Bridgestone Corporation. Bridgestone Americas is a pretty substantial company in its own right. Bridgestone Americas has about 50,000 teammates worldwide. We have 13 tire manufacturing plants spread across North, South, and Central America. And we have about 37 other production facilities on 5 different continents. So Bridgestone Americas, is truly a global company in its own right. We are a very vertically integrated company as well as a diverse company. We own and operate the largest rubber tree farm in the world in Liberia, Africa, something that Harvey Firestone founded in the 1930s. We also manufacture and produce much of our own nylon and polyester that goes into our tires and other products, and we sell that nylon and polyester to third parties. And of course, we make tires of all sizes for just about every application. And then we wholesale through our wholesale business those tires. We also sell our tires to wholesalers. We have one of the largest dealer networks in the United States of anyone in the industry, but we also retail our own tires. And we do that through Firestone Complete Auto Care and other retailers. We are the largest tire and automotive service retail network that we own and operate, the largest in the world. And we also have a commercial retail network. We also have a building products company, and that company is the largest producer of commercial roofing products in the United States, and we are expanding that business to cover the entire building envelope. We also are the largest producer of air springs, kind of shock absorbers, for trucks and cars in the United States, and one of the largest in the world. And then we have other businesses as well. So we're a pretty big company, we're a pretty diverse company, and we're a pretty far-reaching company. My focus, since I became the CEO 4 years, 4 months, 23 days ago, give or take a day, not that I'm counting, my focus really has been to transform the company, much like Nashville has transformed itself. We needed to transform the organization from an old line manufacturing company to a company that would drive change in the world. And there are two areas of focus, very broadly speaking, that I have concentrated and the team has concentrated on. And the first was our financial performance. To be very, very open, our financial performance, our profitability was fairly lackluster and had been for many years. And that had to change. We had to become a high-performing company in terms of our bottom line results. And that in turn, as all of you know, allows you to do so many other things. And we have done just that. Oh, I forgot to mention, we're a big player in Tennessee. Excuse me for leaving that out. So we've done just that in terms of our profitability. Our profits have multiplied by 4.5 times over a 4-year period. And the team has done an absolutely tremendous job. And that in turn allows us to reinvest in the business, invest in our production facilities, and invest in our people. And that in turn is the other transformation that is my area of focus, and that's the culture. I truly believe that Peter Drucker had it right when he said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. You can have a great strategy, but if you don't have a culture that will allow the strategy to be effectively implemented, I wish you the best of luck. And if you don't have a great culture to begin with, good luck coming up with a great strategy. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. As an old line manufacturing company, our culture was one of siloed, or very, very siloed organization, kind of a passive-aggressive culture in terms of the way we dealt with each other, and a very insular company, a company that didn't really welcome the outside world into the organization and didn't reach out to the outside world. And all of that had to change, absolutely had to change. So our goal has been to transform the company to one that is truly collaborative. As I've said many times and will say many more times, if ever there was a team sport, it is what we do. We must be collaborative. Second part of the cultural change is to really create a culture that is hallmarked by courage and candor. I believe that the extent to which an organization will be sustainable for the long run, building a company for another 100 years, is directly related to the degree to which it is collaborative and operates with courage and candor. And we had to start doing that within Bridgestone Americas. And finally, if we wanted to be a change agent in the world, we had to allow the outside world in so we could understand it, and we had to reach out to the outside world. So that's part of the transformation, huge part of the transformation that we've been undertaking over the last 4 years at Bridgestone Americas. There are other aspects of the transformation which help drive the cultural change that I was just talking about, but are really meaningful in terms of a cultural change in their own right. And I'd like to share a few of those with you. First is, past one, I think. Yeah, it's all about the boss. Everything in the company is about the boss, but I am not the boss. You are the boss. Anyone who purchases our products, our services, you are our boss. And that is the language we use internally. What does the boss want? What do you want? We have historically been a phenomenally, exceptionally customer-oriented company. And that's very, very good. Except the way we define the customer were our dealers, our wholesalers, our retailers, our original equipment companies, Ford, General Motors, BMW, and that's wonderful, and we have to keep that. That can never change. But we lost sight of you, our boss. So we have tried to nurture the customer relationships and grow those, but all the while developing a deep, deep, deep understanding of the spoken and unspoken needs and wants of you, our boss, because you have to want our products and services. That, in turn, helps drive another aspect of the cultural change, and that is innovation. Everyone in this room knows that the world is changing at phenomenal speed, and that will only continue and pick up. And you can either be behind the curve, or you can be part of the change and help drive that change in the world and hopefully be ahead of the curve. And if you're going to be that, you've got to be innovative. And that was not something that we were truly excelling at. So we have made that a big part, and we will continue to drive to make that a big part of our culture. The innovation is not only products and items such as you see here on the screen, things that are public, but there are black box items, things that I cannot share with you. But what has given rise to that, one of the things we've done is an online portal that we call BIG, Bridgestone Innovation Gateway. The fundamental premise of BIG is that good ideas can come from anywhere. So we created an online portal where anyone in the organization, anyone, can go online and submit an innovation idea. And it could be a general improvement idea, and that then gets pushed out to that part of the organization. But they can submit a game-changing innovation idea. Anyone else in the company has the opportunity to comment on it, collaborate with them online. Then we have a team of executives that regularly reviews all of the innovation ideas that are submitted. They then take those ideas that they think are most promising, and they come to me. And we decide whether to fund and whether to structure an ongoing innovation project related to those ideas. And it's just one of the many ways that we're creating the courage, the candor, the collaboration, and driving innovation in the company. And we have a number of those projects that are ongoing right now. Another aspect of our cultural change is this. We are truly, truly striving to be a premier place to work. There is no question in my mind, at the end of the day, people make the difference. Now, being a premier place to work can mean different things for different people. For me, it means this. It means a high-performing company. You have high-performing people. Those people are extraordinarily engaged in the organization and extraordinarily motivated and thrilled to be there. And lastly, but a huge part of it, the company recognizes that one of its greatest, deepest responsibilities for the future of the organization and to its people is to truly develop those people to be the leaders of tomorrow. And that is something that, frankly, was not a focus area of ours, but it is now. And we have rebuilt our HR group, and we are putting in place processes and structures to help drive the development of people each and every single day that we operate as one of our most important responsibilities. One of the other things that has been a part of our culture for many years, and it's one of the things that I'm most proud of about Bridgestone, is we strive very hard to be an outstanding corporate citizen. And there are many parts involved in that, but the three most important parts from my standpoint are these. You see the hard hat there? It's all about safety. Safety comes first. I believe, we believe, people have the right to leave work in fundamentally the same condition that they came to work. Maybe a little tired, so they put in a good day's work, right? But they have the right to go home in the same condition that they came to work. So safety always comes first. To the environment. I'm so proud that the broader Bridgestone organization truly believes and truly recognizes, first of all, we have one planet. We have no other place to go. We are stewards of this planet, and we have an obligation to help preserve it and sustain it for future generations. And to that end, we do all kinds of things with respect to environmental activities. Our goal is to be totally 100% landfill free. 3 of our factories already are. We have set a goal to reduce our carbon footprint by 25% by 2020, then another 25% after that. So we are doing a lot. Third part of being an outstanding corporate citizen is helping the communities in which we work be better places to live. Business is not separate and apart from the community. We are part of the community, just as each individual is part of the community. And we all should be helping to make the places where we work and live be better places to live. And we do a lot in that regard. We do a lot in terms of driving fundraising and making our own contributions through the Bridgestone Trust Fund. And we do a lot in terms of devoting our time and energy to help the communities in which we work be better places to live. So we're doing a lot to change the plane, rebuild the plane, while the plane is flying, if you will, but the plane has to continue to fly. And there's one aspect, one thing that we announced recently that I want to share with you. I'm very, very excited about this, really great stuff. And it relates to this. It relates to sports marketing. We are very big into sports marketing. We're the official tire of the NFL. We're the official tire of the NHL, official tire of the PGA Tour, official tire of Major League Baseball, official tire of IndyCar racing, official tire of the Predators, and on and on and on and on and on. And we do a lot of that as a vehicle through which we help drive brand recognition, company recognition, and promote our products. But 2 weeks ago, we made an announcement that is, for us, rather extraordinary, and it is this. At a global level, Bridgestone Corporation is now one of 11 top worldwide sponsors for the Olympic Games. And we signed the contract, it's a 10-year agreement, and that is just so exciting, it's just incredible. There is no platform in the world that can compare to the Olympic Games, both in terms of what it stands for and in terms of the reach that it has. So it's a huge opportunity for us to continue to fly the plane and improve the plane and really really grow our business, if you will, over the years to come. So, just as Nashville has been going through a transformation, so has Bridgestone Americas. And the whole purpose of it has been to build the foundation for a company that can last for another 100 years. And that, to me, is the greatest responsibility that leadership has. And that's what our leadership team is so focused on. So it's been an exciting journey, but there's no doubt in my mind the best is yet to come. So thank you very much, and I look forward to answering any questions you may have.
Let me remind everyone that you can submit questions if you'll go to the bottom of the program. The instructions are there, and we invite you to do that. Kate and I'll try to use as many as we can this morning. Gary, again, welcome to Lipscomb. Great job.
Thank you.
Let's start with a question that's a 40,000-foot question about the U.S. economy. Jim Wright was here several years ago when he was running Tractor Supply, and he told us that his internal metrics showed him a year before it happened that there was going to be a severe downturn in 2008 in the U.S. economy. They saw a change in consumer behavior. So I wonder, what is your dashboard telling you, good or bad, about the future of the U.S. economy as opposed to the Nashville economy?
First, I need to I need to hook up with Jim and do my stock planning around that. But our internal dashboard shows that by and large, we're pretty optimistic about the U.S. economy. And the Fed itself has indicated that it's pretty optimistic about the U.S. economy. Truck tire business has picked up and is going very strong. And sort of similar to what Jim mentioned, 6 months before the Great Recession hit, our truck tire business just bottomed out. It just dropped. And the then head of that part of our business said, sell your stock, we're about to go into a significant recession. And he had it exactly right. Unfortunately, I didn't follow his advice, but I learned my lesson. Seriously, but that business has really picked up. On the building products part of our business, construction is really starting to pick up. That's very important. Tire business for the passenger side is pretty strong. One of the areas that's a little weak is our off-road mining tire business. and that's because commodity prices are so low. And we think that may have bottomed out, but we think it'll also be a little while before that picks up. And commodity prices, of course, will pick up as the economy picks up, as demand picks up. But by and large, we're pretty optimistic.
Good.
You talked quite a bit about the culture change in your organization. Can you tell us, because I think we all know how hard it is to change a culture, and how do you also maintain the traditional values that the company had? What did you see when you did that?
That's a great question, and it's not easy. It's really, really hard to drive cultural change. It's a long journey. I'm not sure that journey ever ends. Once you reach a culture you like, you always want to think about how you improve it. But how you maintain the core values, I think we talk about our core values a lot. Safety always comes first. It always comes first in our company. And that is one of our values. And we talk about it in all of our meetings. We talk about safety in our retail stores. The first thing that's talked about at the corporate level in any single meeting is safety. Before they go into any other business area, it's safety. How are we doing from a safety perspective? So we do that. We create visibility to what we're doing with respect to the environment. Operating ethically, legally, morally is just a huge part of what we are. And we talk about it a lot. So I think you have to create visibility to your core values. You can never lose sight of that. And in how we behave with respect to each other is very different from changing your core values. We keep our core values public. We create visibility to them, and we keep talking about them.
Well, let's focus on that area of ethics for just a second. You were the chief compliance officer, I think, before you took the present position. I'm sure as a global corporation, Bridgestone operates in lots of areas where, shall we say, they're ethically challenged.
Yes.
There's more and more pressure on corporations. Brazil has a new Clean Company Act. We have the FCPA. The UK has a very strict bribery act. How do you cope with all of that from a global perspective, and specifically in the Americas, where Latin America has its own challenges?
Right. There's just no doubt in my mind that any global company has those issues. You're exactly right, Turney. And it's a challenge. The way we do it is, there are a couple different aspects to it. One is it's very top-down. I think the entire leadership team truly believes as part of their being, if you will, we must be an ethically, morally, and legally compliant company. And we don't tolerate any exceptions. There are no exceptions. And we've made a number of decisions that have short-term negative ramifications for the business because we're just not going to operate that way. And that's just how it is. So we set the tone. We create the expectation. We also have a very strong compliance program, and I really credit our current general counsel to taking it to the level that it is currently at. I would put our compliance program up against really any publicly traded company. I think it's wonderful. We do a lot of online training. We do a lot of in-person training. We have a very strong auditing function. And we really drive a lot of collaboration, which helps monitor things in its own right, if you will. And that's really the way we deal with it. But it is a challenge. It will always be a challenge. And there's some parts of the United States where it's a challenge too, unfortunately.
You're ending that on the word challenge, so I'm going to ask you, what would be the main thing that keeps you up at night?
Oh, God. Caffeine. You know, in terms of the long term, really not much. I think things are going to happen in the world, and we have no way to control that. What we have to do is worry about our blocking and tackling, getting our culture right, and I'm totally convinced we're on the right page there. I'm not really worried about the long term of the business. As long as we keep on this path, I'm not really worried about that. I do wake up at night, like 3 in the morning, and I start thinking about what do I have to do tomorrow, and that then keeps me up. But you know, I'm a decent sleeper, other than the caffeine. So.
We've had a question submitted on the future of U.S. manufacturing, and let me put it in this context. I saw a commercial, I guess on the Golf Channel in the last couple of days. You were selling golf balls, at least largely because they were manufactured in the U.S., which I thought was an interesting way to differentiate your golf ball as opposed to longer and higher. So what are you guys doing to bring more manufacturing back to the U.S.? Do you see that as an emerging trend? Are we beginning to see some of that return to the U.S.?
Oh, yeah. I think we definitely are. A couple years ago, we announced that we were going to build a new tire plant in the United States, and we're doing that in South Carolina, Aiken, South Carolina, and it's to manufacture those large off-road tires. And it's about $1 billion investment, and we chose the United States as the place to do it. We could have done it anywhere in the world. And I think there are a lot of companies that are moving a fair amount of their manufacturing back to the United States, and there are many reasons for that. Some basic things like transportation costs are going up, but the stability in the United States is a big factor. I also think that there are parts of the United States where non-union labor is more readily accessible, and that makes it more attractive. So that trend helps. But there definitely is a trend to move back to the United States. But these things ebb and flow, and they'll continue to ebb and flow over time. You know, in terms of our golf balls, they do go higher and farther.
What about having the headquarters in Nashville? What benefits do you see? And then on the flip side, is there anything that you think that Nashville could be doing better?
Yeah. Nashville is a terrific city, and that's why it's growing. It's got so much going for it. It's got so many foundational elements that are critical. It's got the whole music industry. There's really hardly any other city in the world that can match that. It's got a wonderful healthcare system. Terrific universities are here. It's opened itself up to allow the outside world in. It's no longer a sleepy little southern town. And it's had, I'd be remiss if I didn't say this, absolutely terrific political leadership. And I am totally convinced that matters a lot. It matters at the city level, the state level, and at the federal level. So it's got a lot going for it, and we're thrilled to be a part of that and of the community here and helping the city to grow. In terms of the challenges, I think the growth itself is a challenge. It's the kind of problem you want to have, but it's a challenge. We have real infrastructure issues that are starting to rear their head. I'm sure most of you experience it when you drive to and from work, and I think Nashville's going to have to deal with that. And there are many different ways to deal with it: public transportation, working on our infrastructure, but it's an issue that we have to deal with. And then there are issues that I think are not necessarily unique to Nashville, but they're really important issues that every city has to deal with, and that is education. I worry hugely about the dropout rate, high school dropout rate, in every major city in the United States. What are those kids going to do? Where are they going to get a job? They probably won't. What will they become? What kind of society are we creating for ourselves? So I think those are the kind of issues that Nashville needs to focus on. And really, at least as to infrastructure, it's a good problem to have, rather than we have an infrastructure that isn't being used because we have a declining population.
Gary, we're getting numerous questions here about, let me lump this together and call it pushback in cultural change.
Great.
So how have you coped with that as a CEO? One question specifically said, how did you deal with objections to changing the passive-aggressive culture that is sort of endemic to this part of the country?
Yeah.
How have you dealt with that?
You know, I don't, first of all, I don't think we're all the way there yet. We're still working on it. I think there are many different things that we are doing to help drive that. We're doing a lot to teach our leaders how to be even better leaders than they already are. And leaders create an atmosphere. We call it a climate in which they work. And the people that work around them and with them and for them, they create a climate. And that climate creates or does not create or foster the kind of culture you want. So we've done a lot of leadership education on that. We are measuring the climate that our leaders create, and we're using that to improve the climates that each of us individually and collectively create. I think I'm nowhere near perfect at this, but I've got to be an example for the company, and I try as hard as I can to reflect that kind of atmosphere and that kind of climate. In terms of courage and candor, one of the things that I talk a lot about is courage and candor doesn't just mean someone having the courage to speak up. It means someone having the courage to be spoken up to. So people have to be able to speak up to me, and I have to be willing to listen. And it's not always easy, but I have to do that. One of the other things that I encourage people to do, one of the other things I try hard to do, is to restrain myself. I try to be the last one to voice an opinion. I want the opinions of other people before I chime in, because once I voice an opinion, I begin to bias things for whatever reason, on whatever basis. So I try to hold back. So those kinds of things are the things we're doing to continually drive the culture. We're doing town hall meetings, and one of the things that I start every town hall meeting with is any question at all is fair game, anything at all. You have the right to know anything about the company. Some things I may not be able to share because of publicly traded information and stuff like that, but absent those kinds of things, you have the right to know. And when I get a really tough question, then I reward that person.
This is also a question having to do with culture, and several people have asked it kind of in different veins, but wondering more about your big ideas, your innovation program. Are you know, has that been successful? And then along with that, do you reward people if they come up with an idea? So can you just give more detail around that program?
Yeah, great question. I think has it been successful? I think we made great strides. We're further along this journey than I ever thought we would be at this point in time. But we're nowhere near where I want us to be. And yes, we do reward people. And there are different mechanisms of rewards in the company, and that's all part of the cultural change to make that a big part of our culture. But people who submitted ideas earn points. Those points build into the reward system. We have an online portal to reward people, which ultimately can mean financial rewards and other rewards. We have contests for innovation ideas. The winners then get to lead the innovation project, which we fund, and they're deeply involved in pursuing the innovation project. That then gives them clear visibility to me, because I'm very involved in monitoring the progress of each of our major innovation projects. So, and then we have CEO awards, and we use that partly for innovation and things like that. So, yeah.
That may have been the signal that we have to wrap things up. I'm not sure.
The light bulb was going off on
And
innovation.
we've got so many great questions, and you're doing a great job. I wish we could stay another hour, but let's take a couple of last questions. I'll ask one, and then Kate, why don't you in? So, Gary, I just have to ask you a personal question, but this will incorporate a couple that have come in. I have to ask you a Walter Mitty question, okay? So you're the sponsor of all these great sporting events. You must have the best seat in the house at the Super Bowl, the golf tournaments, the Indianapolis 500. Give us one really cool story about the inside view at the highest level of sports.
It is pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. There are many. But one that stands out for me is last year at the Bridgestone Invitational. It really is a terrific tournament. It takes place next week. Little plug, I hope all of you watch. We get the top 50 golfers in the world. Tiger has won it 8 times, and last year Tiger won it. And last year, after the trophy ceremony, I was getting my picture taken with Tiger, and I said to Tiger as we were getting our picture taken together, I said, Tiger, you realize that the last time you won our tournament was 4 years ago, and that was when we announced that we renewed our sponsorship for the agreement. Today we announced that we renewed our sponsorship for the agreement, and you won again today. And he said, and I won't use his language, it was quite flowery, if you will, quite colorful, but he said, well, heck, man, rip up the contract and renew in 1-year increments.
Well, we are out of time, but that's a perfect segue to announce that we do have our next speaker for the National Business Breakfast lined up, and it will be on August 27th, and it will be regarding the Predators in Bridgestone Arena, ironically, and it'll feature CEO Jeff Kogan along with a hockey representative, so please put that all on your calendars. And then, Gary, thank you so much for sharing your time with us this morning. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, good morning to you all. I bring greetings to you from whom I like to call the Dr. Lowry, who is out of town this morning and wishes he could be here. I do want to say thank you to Attorney and Kate for facilitating our dialogue. Thank you, Gary, for being here and for your leadership in our community. I never knew that truck tires could be such a powerful economic indicator. I do have to mention one thing about your golf balls. I'll tell you, if our friend Ron Samuel hits them, they do go long, far, and straight. If I hit them, they go long, right, and out of bounds. So I'm still waiting for that perfect golf ball that can correct my slice. If you could work on that, that would be great. 45 years ago this week, over 1 billion people, 1/5 of the Earth's population, watched Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin set foot on the moon. It was quite a historic moment, an incredible achievement, one that so many people worked so long on. And if you think about it, it was really a fine achievement in terms of space exploration. Here you had people that traveled 240,000 miles from Earth to get to the moon, which is a long, long way. It was a great technology achievement as well. The technology that was based to build this space program, this is the technology that really brought upon the electronic age that many of us are consumed by today. But more than that, and more even than it being a national achievement, it was really a human achievement. I mean, there were 400,000 people that spent almost a decade so that there could be one small step and one giant leap. And if you think about all of the folks that came together around this, and as a community reflecting back on it 45 years later, it's a testament to the fact that not even the vastness or the mysteries or the uncertainties of space can hold people back when we can find a way to work together. That was truly what this moment was about. That's what history has recorded, was the phenomenal way that people came together to get to the moon. And so as we reflect back on that as a community today, I hope that you will leave here recognizing that this notion of working together has become fundamental to our economy. In fact, scholars and business schools have identified it as the collaboration economy, the economy that will emerge in the 21st century. And as we go out and as we today continue to contribute to this economy, I leave you with the words of another great American business icon in the automotive industry, Henry Ford, who said that coming together is just the beginning. Staying together, that's real progress. But working together, that's real success. Thank you for being here. We'll look forward to seeing you back on August 27th with Jeff Kogan. And until then, take care.